we know they're all going to be going hard for it.
They certainly are off the line. A lot of wheel spin immediately. We've got 4 cars using it. Scheider went really late. Kevin Hansen for the Veloce team over the jump in the middle. 4 cars side by side, or a bit sideways from Ekstrom. He's going to back out of that. That's sensible. Whole shot for Kevin Hansen. So Kevin Hansen gets through, and then Timo Scheider alongside and managing to squeeze through the gap, in fact. So Timo Scheider gets in front of Timmy Hansen and Matthias Ekstrom at the back of the pack. At the minute, this is worst case scenario for Kristoffersons, but I think Ekstrom did the right thing. Never panic is the key. He had a big moment over the jump. He straightened it out. Now he's got to start picking people off.
At the moment, one of the Hansen brothers for Veloce Racing is steaming ahead. Carl Cox is very dirty behind.
Timmy Hansen ran into the back of Carl Cox a few corners back. Not hard, but it cost him exit speed. In the background, Kristoffersons are going slowly. They're 10 seconds back down the road. Wait for Kristoffersons in the background. 10 seconds. Is it just wipers or is it another tech issue?
Oh, it's 12 seconds now.
Oh, it comes through. So they're still going. Ekstrom is still going, but as Jess said, it's gone up by another 2 seconds.
And 2 again. We're at 14 seconds now on the pace.
Disaster.
Yeah, this is absolutely not what Kristoffersons were hoping for. This is worst case scenario, to be honest, at the moment for them. They actually smashed it yesterday in round 7.
Right, the left wiper's gone. That's the problem. The left wiper is off. This is exactly what Veloce had yesterday. Listening in as well, I'm not sure everything is right with that car, but the left wiper, and remember this is a left-hand drive car, Ekstrom's visibility is seriously hampered. He is 22 seconds back, and this is worst case scenario. They might score only 2 championship points in the redemption race, in which case RXR can close the gap by 23. At the minute, it's 19 points. Wow, how a weekend can turn around. So this is on board. Watch the wiper on the left-hand side of the screen on the 55, the Kristoffersons machine. Up comes the mud. Just sheer volume of water has just pushed it off the screen. And then look, the heavy mud, there is nothing he can do. And likewise now for Lion Sands. Oh, they're going to try and fix it. Go on, get in.
Go on, mate. Oh, he's doing anything he can there with that equipment, isn't he?
There's very limited equipment down in the switch zone. They're allowed to take what tools they want. It has to be catalogue tools, and by that I mean something you or I could buy. They're not allowed to make special tools, for instance, with 5 nuts on to take the wheel off quickly. They can take down certain types of jacks to make the wheel change quicker, but they can't take, you know, special contraptions to try and change things very quickly. With the way the wipers are breaking, you're almost better going in with the wiper off and then switching it on, so the volume of... Block loses a position. So she runs a little bit deep on the brakes and loses the position there. Looking back. Oh, look at that, getting roasted. Just look at the difference. You just wait for the wipers to clear it on board with Katie Munnings. Even when they're working, it's still pretty smeared. You know, it would be, but that's a nice pass by Munnings, so she gets up 1 position.
Well, I know who's one team who's going to be watching very closely, and it's this one, Kristoffersons.
They certainly will be. Molly Taylor, though, for Veloce Racing out front. Katie Munnings has done her best. She's had the gap down under 5 seconds, but Taylor has done a great job with her teammate Kevin Hansen. And Veloce will win the redemption race here in Sardinia for round 8, jumping over the line for the finish. Here comes Katie Munnings for Andretti Altakilit behind. There we go. Not super celebrations, but they know they've done the best they could do here. P3 in this one for Leah Block and Timo Scheider. Nicely done. But the big story here is that still out on track is Lion Sands, championship leader with Matthias Ekstrom and Kristoffersons, and they are going to score only 2 championship points in round 8. Let's take a look at the result then for the redemption race. A DNS, of course, for Tanner Faust and Tamara Molinaro McLaren. P4, that's a shocker for Kristoffersons. Only 2 championship points. Carl Cox Motorsport get 3rd, Andretti Altakilit get P2, and the winners of the redemption race for round 8 in Sardinia are Veloce's Kevin Hansen and Molly Taylor. What's going to happen now off the line? Good reaction time from everyone except Hozos. Now Hozos uses the hyperdrive as well down towards turn 1. RXR just gets away from the edge of Cooper, so that's low, but Kristoffersons on the run to the first corner. Down the outside, Fraser McConnell for X44. Sideways, 3 abreast. McConnell goes around the outside line of the bush, gets the whole shot. In the background, Kristoffersons is level with Loeb just in front now. So Kristoffersons slots into P2, Loeb goes wide, sends it out deep. Can he get something on the exit? He's gone all the way around the outside. He takes the position back, so Kristoffersons drops back to P3. McConnell leads from Sebastian Loeb, Johan Kristoffersson in third.
Woo, that was an absolute extreme E sandwich. My goodness, McConnell leading as well, and it would mean so much to X44 to take that win today. Fraser McConnell has been so close on so many times. They've just had some bad luck, haven't they? But look behind, it's so close.
RJ Anderson right up behind RXR as well, so the Massey Racing Machine is in behind Kristoffersson, now into the water splash. Let's see what they do with the wipers through here. Kristoffersson's gone in with the wipers off, and now puts them on, and he's lost a position. So RJ Anderson gets past while the wipers are completely, the screen is totally and utterly covered in mud. Sideways through that left-hander. Kevin Hansen was saying it's very wet in the traction challenge. I don't think anyone's going to beat the time from earlier on today. So the 2 points maybe not up for grabs now. Kristoffersson again in behind the Hummer EV. So down into P4, going to try and come up the inside line. He's almost alongside Anderson over the rocks at the edge of the course. Now Kristoffersson looks inside again. No way to pass through here, just a little bit too narrow. That's the view he's got as he's at parking distance behind that Chile Racing Machine. Tanner Faust, this is a great race. I know you wish you were out there, but Kristoffersson's got to do some work here to make some passes.
Oh, they've all been doing work. It shows you how important the visibility is, how much they're fighting just to get in front of that one car in front of them. This first lap is so critical so you can see the second lap, but what a battle.
Oh, Kristoffersson maybe alongside again, just gets the nose up. Now he flicks the car back the other way, get that weight transfer going, see if he can find the traction on the exit. They are using every inch of the track width here. It's a great battle.
Goodness me. I mean, McConnell is still coming over that first lap. Remember, there are 2 laps to go, and then it is the switch. And oh, look at that!
Off the side of the track, Rosberg X Racing's Kristoffersson is leaving no stone unturned in trying to find a way through. I think he's done it. Goes the long way round, carries the extra speed, having gone over the rocks down the side of the track where Molinaro rolled yesterday. That was a brave move. Now Anderson trying to get back alongside him on the exit. He has the better line now. Nearly side by side again, but he has fought his way through. That was a brilliant pass, Tanner. Amazing.
That's not a place where you can pass usually. So, I mean, literally, Johan is making his own track out there, just as he did in July. But the level is incredibly high in the intensity, and RJ having a hard time even holding on to it.
Oh, yeah, RJ, think about the spin in the background. Did he manage to hold on or not? Proper tank snapper. He did just get hold of it, didn't he? So problems for Anderson. That's given a little bit of breathing space, and again sideways to Johan Kristoffersson. Kristoffersson is some 2.9 seconds off the back of Sebastian Loeb for Abt Cupra. No, he's not. He's already coming towards the back of the Abt Cupra machine. So we say every point counts. If they win this, they take the lead in the standings. But we've got another couple of laps to come yet.
Yeah, I was about to say Kristoffersson and like Rosberg X Racing. Not usually. Oh, look.
Nearly making the pass again. Abt Cupra just a little bit too sideways. Kristoffersson is there. He's ready to pounce. Tanner Faust said it's pretty hard to pass. Where he passed last time, he said you cannot pass, but somehow Kristoffersson's found a way up again. Watch the amount of track width he uses. The car in front's going defensive. He's able not to, so he goes out wide, comes in tight. We're on board now with him. Up the inside! Done! Up the inside on the way to waypoint 11. Johan Kristoffersson executes another brilliant pass. This is a masterclass from the 5-time World Rallycross champion and, of course, Season 1's Extreme E champion. He's going after every point.
I have absolutely never seen anything like this. I mean, Kristoffersson is making it up. He's making his own course. They do love it in Sardinia. They have won, like, back-to-back the last time we were here, and they are refusing to give this one up. They want those 25 points.
Absolutely brilliant. So here's a look at a replay of it. So this was the first one. There was a tiny bit of contact. He keeps it lit, takes out a bunch of the branding down the side, uses that as a run into the first corner, and then up the inside. Just absolutely fantastic. And the other pass, brilliant as well. Tanner, I mean, we know how good Johan is, but that is just a mark of his class, isn't it? 2 brilliant passes out on track, you know, no contact to speak of, really. Amazing work.
Yeah, you know, the car control is amazing, but that's the same for all of these guys. But having that wherewithal coming through the last few corners to think, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and make my own track here, get an exit out of turn 1, and hopefully capitalize. That kind of forethought and that kind of heads-up driving is something that's really unique.
I heard you saying to Laura you were finding it quite interesting. Obviously, you want to be in the car, but to see it from the outside and see the way the tactics play out, are there learnings from this for you guys to go, right, this isn't a different approach next time or something different to do?
Well, for us, we know we got to keep the tires on the ground to survive the weekend. But yeah, of course. I mean, watching it from this side and being, you know, round 8 of 10, all of a sudden the championship points come into play. But in the car, to be honest, nobody's thinking about championship. Nobody's thinking about points. They're just trying to get ahead of the car right in front of them, and then let the math do its work once you finish the weekend.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing how this plays out now as we see the male drivers handing over to their female counterparts, except for JBXC, where Hedda Hozos will hand over to Andreas Backerud. But Christina Gutierrez leads for X44. Michaela Arlen-Kotlinski 3.1 seconds back for RXR, and just a few seconds behind her is Clara Anderson for Abt Cupra. So little gaps now, a little bit more breathing space. Can Arlen-Kotlinski close the gap on, and even more importantly, pass Gutierrez for the win?
Yeah, really interesting what Tanner was saying, that we're talking about points, we're talking about championship points in here, but it's as simple as that, isn't it? You just want to get in front of the car that's right in front of you, and RXR are not going to give this up. Michaela Arlen-Kotlinski, she is used to being in front here in Sardinia, but she's absolutely going to go for it.
Yeah, she is. Now, she's chasing Gutierrez. We need to put a word in as well for Fraser McConnell. We barely saw him because of what the battle was going on behind, but McConnell took the lead on the first lap for X44 with that brilliant move in the first corner, brought the car home in the lead. Now it's up to Gutierrez. In the background, the Abt Cupra's got a problem, so they've run a little bit deep on the brakes. Amanda Sorensen going to try and chase down Clara Anderson. Doesn't seem to be a mechanical, but it's all about that gap out front. Seems to be levelling off at about 2.6 seconds at the moment. So Gutierrez, who of course is the reigning champion with X44, that was alongside... Oh, no! Oh, there's a wheel off the front of the JBXC machine. Game over for Andreas Backerud, parked at the side of the track. Second time this weekend they've not made it back, so we didn't see what's happened. We'll see if we can find it on the replays, but done for JBXC. A
real shame that Backerud did say he was feeling lucky earlier today. And it was looking like a good weekend for them, but out in front with a 2.7 second lead is X44, and God, they'd be putting in a shift to win here today.
They have. Tanner, in terms of what you're telling your teammates now, particularly when you're in the command centre and, you know, you're privy to those conversations, what are they saying to Gutierrez? Is it just gap information? You know, is it keep calm? How do you encourage the driver to give the right performance without taking too many risks?
It's gap information, but you want to give them information that tells a story. So if the gap is growing, you make sure you tell them that, so that they know that whatever they did on that corner, which is usually a nice tidy exit, a good clean exit, is usually what is positive. Here she's defending when maybe she doesn't have to yet, but they're also telling them about grip. So turn 4, 5, 6, where we saw Loeb go wide after the water splash, that's going to be something.
Waypoint slow zone at number 2, which is why they're all down on the 30 kilometre. Tanner Faust, thank you so much for your insight. Much appreciated. Really looking forward to seeing the McLaren team back in Chile. At the minute, the gap would be just 3 points, Jess, if it finishes like this.
Yeah, if it finished like this, Acciona Sainz maybe wouldn't be too disappointed, because there's a whopping 25 points up for grabs if Rosberg win, and then it goes down to 18 points. So, I mean, Acciona Sainz will really be hoping that Rosberg X Racing don't get that first place so that they can maintain their championship lead.
The gap coming into this slow zone was 4.3 seconds, so whatever Gutierrez did through those first sections of the lap was really impressive. Guns it now, releases the full power of the car over the bumps on the exit from waypoint 3, which is where they can start going quick again. Arlen-Kotlinski uses her Inoa hyperdrive here. Notice that Gutierrez has saved it. Now that could be to defend position later on. Gutierrez is looking pretty relaxed behind the wheel. This is a great performance.
Maybe it's that helmet of hers. We heard all about that earlier. She's had it designed at a hospital in Spain with lots of children getting involved. Some really brilliant initiatives. But yeah, look at this on course now. She's looking pretty calm. As calm as you can be in this situation, I think.
4.7 the gap now back to Rosberg X Racing. Just a little nip on the handbrake to get the car turned in. You're on board with Arlen-Kotlinski. She's still in attack mode, trying to close the gap down, but it's going the wrong way. 5.6. And now just in behind her, look, is Clara Anderson, who will smell blood. She can see it, and Amanda Sorensen's there as well.
Yeah, and that gap has gone up to almost 7 seconds between Arlen-Kotlinski and Gutierrez, and Anderson is closing on Arlen-Kotlinski. What a drive it will be from her if she does overtake.
Last few corners to go. You can see the Finnish towers are just tantalisingly there in the distance. Gutierrez has still got that Inoa hyperdrive to use. RXR, I don't think are going to be able to take the championship lead here. The gap is just too much now. Now Gutierrez releases the extra horses. Fraser McConnell did a brilliant job to bring that car to her in the lead, and she brings it home for the second win of the year for X44 Vida Carbon Racing. Rosberg X Racing recover their championship hopes here, taking P2 in round 8. It's going to be a hell of a fight down in Chile, and Abt Cupra get P3. Chip Ganassi Racing super close behind in 4th.
Race alongside each other, and my goodness, I'm out of breath, Angie, let alone the drivers. Whew. Let's look at the results then from the grand final.
Yep, grand final results for round 8. DNF, unfortunately for JBXC. Hummer EV Chip Ganassi Racing weren't far behind in 4th, just in front of them at Cupra. RXR, second position, is a brilliant recovery in terms of championship points today. But the winners, their second win of the season, it is X44 Vida Carbon Racing's Fraser McConnell and Cristina Gutierrez.
Yeah, look at that, X44 on the podium. Ah, it's going to be a good night for them, isn't it? And it's been a good weekend for us. It's been good fun. We've had some amazing racing here for rounds 7 and 8. And you know what? Extreme E really is unpredictable. And when the dust settles for Rosberg X Racing, they are going to think, nah, that was an all right weekend. That really was an okay weekend, because they are massively in contention. If Acciona Sainz had been in that final, then it might have been a different story now. But Johan Kristoffersson can go home, he can have a little break, and he can think, yeah, Chile's going to be tasty.